No, but it's about an hour and a half away, so when I got here, I went straight to McDonald's, got something to eat, because it had been about an hour and 35 minutes since I'd eaten. Got a chocolate milkshake. Have you tried having a milkshake from McDonald's lately? What's the fucking problem with those? Paper fucking straws. Even the staff, especially the Liverpool staff, they're savvy. She actually went, do you want 2 straws? Fucking... My wife, I said to my wife about these paper straws, and she said, yeah, they're very much like your erections, Graeme. All right? You need to use them quickly, all right? They rarely last long enough to get the job done. And she prefers the plastic alternative. So, fuck you, David Attenborough, frankly. I'm a husband and a father. I have 2 kids, 9 and 11. Just explain, I don't call them that. That'd be weird. And thinking about it, it would also be really bad taste, wouldn't it, to name my kids after such a horrific event in which nearly 3,000 people died. Anyway, I love Fred and Rose. They are great kids, Fred and Rose. They're fantastic. Do you know them? Are you applauding them? That's brilliant. No, they are wonderful, but they did ruin what little sex life I had when they came along. Which is why now, at the age of 43, I find myself masturbating more than at any point since I was 14. Usually in the shower, which is why I was recently banned from B&Q. And Wix. And just after lockdown, the gym. Turns out it's not such a pure gym when I've been in there. So. Human after all. So, just can you give it up for Luke again, please? He's put together tonight. It's a really fucking important cause, okay? Just genuinely, it's okay not to be okay, and if you need any help, get some fucking help, right? So, I had a breakdown about 10 years ago. And genuinely, I didn't have PTSD, but I was as low as I've ever been. This is not comedy material. You're all thinking, fucking hell, is he confessing something? No. So, anyway, went to the doctors, got some help like you should, got prescribed antidepressants. Give me a shout if you've ever been on antidepressants. Woo! Excellent. See, nothing to be ashamed of. He said to me, it'll take about 6 weeks to kick in. So, while you wait for that, read this 47-page list of side effects. Read them. 3 things leapt out of me. The first one was, I was low, I wasn't suicidal, I was just low and fucking grim, right? First antidepressant side effect that struck me straight away was the possibility of an increased desire to harm myself, right? Fucking hell. Right, so I'm not suicidal, but these pills that are meant to make me better might make me suicidal. The second one was, one word, I had to look it up, anorgasmia. Anorgasmia, which is the inability to achieve an orgasm, okay? So I wasn't suicidal, but the pills might make me suicidal, and then top that off, never gonna fucking come again, so I'm definitely gonna be suicidal. Third one was, these are all true, third one was the risk of prolonged and painful erections. So I wasn't suicidal, but I could be now with the pills, plus never gonna have an orgasm again, but gonna have a constant painful heartbeat, right? So, I went and spoke to my wife, talked it all through, explained it all to her. Within 48 hours, she'd trebled my dose. Anyway. Now, when I'm not masturbating, well, I'll rephrase that. I don't just see masturbation as an act of sort of pleasure or indulgence. It's sometimes kind of keeping match fit in case you get called into action. In the same way that you know that Peter Crouch keeps his football boots by the front door in case Gareth Southgate calls him up for the World Cup. Come to think of it though, it's probably not fair to compare my penis to Peter Crouch. He's 6'7", it's like a fucking baguette. If I were to compare my penis to any footballer, it would probably be Paul Scholes. Small, ginger, asthmatic, dirty bastard, but everyone that's ever played with him rates him really highly. Thank you. Now, 1999. I don't know how old you guys are. Where are you? How old are you, my love? Yes, you. 23. So 1999, you'd been 3 years. Long enough ago to feel like a period drama for you, isn't it, that? And to be honest, we did have a few of those in the early days. What I would say is, when we got together, I was 20. I'd had a bit of sex, not a lot of sex, not very good sex. And most of what I'd learned had come from pornography and the movies. Now, Scott, have you ever had sex that resembles any sex you've ever seen in like a mainstream Hollywood film? Any sex at all that could feature in a film? Don't take too long to talk about it, because Hannah really wants you to say, yes, we fucking did. But I'm going to take that as a no. That really blank... Does he always look that fucking vacant? No, right. So, I've certainly never had sex like that happened in movies, and I think it's about time that movie sex reflected real, actual, real-life sex. And I'd like Liverpool to be a cornerstone of this campaign I'm going to start. You can sign up online, okay? Give you a few examples of the sort of thing that I'd like to see, okay? So, I'd like to see the woman riding the man. I'm going to go with heteronormative sex here because it's what I know, so apologies to anyone who isn't into that man and woman thing, but woman on top of the man, going at it really well, and then the man just says, don't fucking move. If you move, if you twitch, if you clench, we're done for 25 minutes minimum, and she's thinking 40 fucking 5 minutes. And then through the open window a breeze comes in and he just kind of shudders. And then just says, sorry love, we'll try again later. I want to see the woman, when they're finished, climbing off the man and then doing that little walk from the knees down, which the last time I did this joke in Liverpool, someone informed me was called the cum run, right? So just do the cum run to the toilet. But she gets to the door and she looks over her shoulder all coquettishly, throws the man a toilet roll and says, you clean yourself up, love. I'm just off to DJs. I want to see doggy style sex, really hardcore doggy style sex. She's there, he's giving it really hard, really hard. He then feels his hamstring start to tighten up. And he thinks, fucking hell, this is going to tear in two. To the point where he starts screaming, ah! And she's like, fucking hell, he's really going for it tonight. But he's reached the point of no return, so he has what I've started to call a crampgasm. Do you know what I mean? You know what I fucking mean, don't you? How often? Yeah. Do you know what I mean, or is that for someone else? Is that awkward now? He knows, but he's not going to say. So, I want to see that thing where she's asleep, and he thinks, I'll just try and wake her up. Just try and wake her up. With a little bit of radio tuning while they're spooning. Erection in the bottom of the back. And she's like, fuck off. But one time out of about 20, yeah, all right, then we'll crack on. That's what I want to see. Now, the one thing that I don't think we're going to see is something that really happened to me about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I'm going to leave you this now, this little story. It's just what I want you to remember, if nothing else about this set. Okay, so sometimes, Scott, I do get to have real sex with my wife, all right? Real proper sex. What normally happens is we get Fred and Rose off to bed nice and early, right? Maybe dose them up with a little bit of Calpol so they're nice and drowsy, right? Yeah. Oh, McCann territory, innit? Ooh. Kate and Jerry all like that one. No, we'll dose them up a little bit, get them to bed, you know. We'll get down to it. Spooning to start off, nice and quietly. I'm the big spoon, obviously. Or as my wife calls me, the ladle, right? So, we'll get down to it, you know. We got down to it nicely. We put down our favourite sex towel before we started, you know, because we don't want to get a load of washing going on, you know. We've all done it. If you haven't done that, get a favourite, make it a good one. But, you know, nice sex towel down before you start, Scott. So anyway, there we are, spooning away, just about to get down to the good shit, right? I've stretched off, no crampgasms incoming, right? And then the bedroom door flings open, and there's Fred, stood there rubbing his eyes. And I tell you what, before we could do anything, couldn't cover ourselves up, couldn't try and make an excuse or anything, I heard 2 words that will stick with me for as long as I live. They haunt me. Hi, and he ran at the bed. He jumped headfirst on top of us on the bed. And Liverpool, as I leave you now, I've got to tell you, it's the weirdest fucking orgasm I have ever had. So, my name's Graeme Rayner. If you want to follow me
I'm going backstage for a shower, thank you.